Hi guys, no waffle today. We know why you're here. Today's album is Stripped by Christina Aguilera, which, if you've been following the channel, is a bit of a departure from the rest of the CDs I've reviewed. Here's a quick list of the genres covered so far. Punk, 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 hip-hop, punkadelle, punk, 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 and now we have Christina Aguilera's Stripped for the 7th album I'm reviewing and ranking. I bought it in CEX a few years ago when I was old enough to not feel guilty for having guilty pleasures. In 2006, an ex played one of her albums to death, and I was only 18 at the time and really cool and punk as the punkest person alive. Plus I was getting into hip-hop, so I couldn't openly admit to liking this mainstream chart ditzy blonde girl squeaking out all these pop songs. Then I got a bit older and a little wiser and decided I'm a fan of punk music, but I'm not a punk because ideologies are limiting even if they have shaped your life. I then heard Etta James wanted Christina to sing at her funeral instead of Beyonce, which did surprise me because Beyonce played Etta James in the 2008 film Cadillac Records and did what I thought was a fantastic job, but anything that Etta says is gospel. So now Etta gives Christina credibility and I no longer wane to the pressure of a guilty pleasure, and I can revisit old music with a different mindset, except from the fact I forgot to ever listen to this CD. The X owned the sequel Back to Basics, not Stripped. That said, there are a lot of well-known singles on this album like Beautiful, which I have heard 1,000 times. Stripped was released in October 2002, making me 21 years late to the party. It also made Christina Aguilera 21 years old at the time of recording. The album was released on RCA Records. The album is the 20th best-selling album of the 21st century, sandwiched between Celine Dion and 50 Cent. This was Christina's 4th album and the first one where she had total creative control, lyrically and musically. The reason it was called Stripped was due to Christina declaring that this is the first time we are getting to know the real her. She is stripping back all the manufactured teen pop that she previously presented and is laying down personal lyrics and her own musical arrangements. She said, "You think you have known me, but you don't really know me. Until you hear this new me, then you'll really know me." That's not verbatim, but you get the idea. All songs are co-written by different people to accommodate different musical styles. Executive producers are Christina Aguilera and Ron Fair. Other producers are listed as Glenn Ballard, Rob Hoffman, Heather Holly, Alicia Keys, Linda Perry, Steve Morales, Rock Wilder, and Scott Storch. I probably butchered some of those names. It takes less than 2 seconds of Christina underlining her stripped agenda on the introduction, better described as a mission statement, for the listener to realise she has incredible vocal chops. As the album progresses, you have to concede Aguilera is one of the most gifted female vocalists you'll ever hear. What makes her unique is the ability to change from sweet, angelic vocals to pure power at the drop of a hat. Her octave range is so broad there must have been dogs barking 2 miles away when she was hitting those super high notes that didn't lose any quality in the power ballads, such as the This Is a Man's World influenced Walk Away, in which Christina pours her heart out. It's here that Christina squeezes every drop of emotion out of the arrangement, making the listener willing to embark on her heartbreak journey with her. The genres heard on this album are in abundance and include hip-hop, chill pop, Latin salsa, rock, piano ballad, okay, there's quite a lot of them. Cheesy pop is also really prominent. Songs like Makeover could have been on the Brody Dahl solo album. She pretty much has a go at everything. All these genres give me 2 points to consider. Number 1, Christina Aguilera is a versatile performer. Just when I think she sounds comfortable being able to rap sing with Lil Kim on the Slim Shady LP sounding female empowering Can't Hold Us Down, she shows me she can also give Evanescence a run for their money with the rock-inspired Fighter. And she's able to blend with Alicia Keys and sing Whitney Houston-esque ballads with just as much musical maturity despite only being 21 years of age. It's pretty impeccable. The second school of thought with all the different genres going on is, wow, this album doesn't flow together at all. Every song just feels so different from the last. It feels more like a singles collection or a best of. Now that's not something to be scoffed at, but this album should flow like an album because that's the intended form it was released. Whilst I enjoyed said collabs with Alicia Keys and Lil Kim, as well as what I would consider to be one of the best pop songs ever written in Beautiful, that surely I don't really need to describe the positives from because you've all heard it 1,000 times, I would say this album didn't live up to its potential. Clocking in at 77 minutes, I really didn't get the opportunity to listen to it in one sitting. If you're going to insist your album be longer than 53 minutes, it had better be one of the best albums of all time with no filler songs in sight. Many of the songs here were 1.5 minutes too long and were very middle of the road. You can tell this is Christina's first time with total creative control because she gives too much. She has this incredible instrument and ability to do vocal gymnastics, but does these fluctuations and impressive high notes way too often, making them less special than they could be. If she boxed clever, like a video to Dirty, she would hold back on these vocal climaxes to give more satisfaction to the listener when they finally did land. Stripped should have been released as 2 separate albums, Stripped Volume 1 and Stripped Volume 2. Each volume would be approximately 40 minutes in length, each with songs chosen to be more consistent with each release. I believe this would have held my attention more and the filler count would have diminished. Christina Aguilera is a performer who inspired pretty much every female pop singer that is currently around. There is no denying her talent and her influence in the musical world, and rightly so. Her technique is impeccable. She is a one-off, totally unique as a musician. Despite the above being true, I have to give this album a 6 out of 10. Whilst I love the opening rap, Beautiful, and her duet with Alicia Keys, there are far too many middle-of-the-road songs that just went on too long. The thought, okay, this is a pretty good song but it needs to end now, popped into my head way too many times. This overshadowed an album that had the potential to be a 9 out of 10. And now to rank Stripped amongst the rest of the albums I have reviewed for this series. It's not knocking AFI or Afro Cluster off the top 2 spots, and it was definitely better than December Underground and the Addicts album, so it's floating between 3, 4 and 5. I prefer AFI over Christina as a band, but album against album I would sooner listen to this. So now we've got the 2 heavyweight females fighting it out. I would say Christina is the artist I'd rather listen to, but the Adele album is the superior record, so I'm going to have to sandwich Christina in at number 4, just below Adele. She should be thankful for Beautiful because I think that saved her quite a bit. So now let's have a look at the updated ranking, starting from worst to best. So in at number 7 we've got AFI with December Underground. Number 6 we've got the Addicts with 27. Number 5 AFI with Sing the Sorrow. A new entry in at number 4, Christina Aguilera with Stripped. Number 3, we've got Adele, 21. Number 2, Afro Cluster with We Don Land. And then AFI, number 1 with All Hallows EP. I feel this review was a lot shorter than the others. I'm back at work now and I have a teething baby at home, and this album was so long it was a bit of a slog to try and write. I think the album in the next episode is a quarter of the length of Stripped, so normal service will be resumed. To be honest, I mean, I'm at the end of the video now, so I may as well admit it, but I don't think I did a very good job of this review. But yeah, hopefully you'll forgive me. I just wanted to get the video out. Thank you for making it this far into the video. Did I do Christina dirty, or was it a beautiful video? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Should I have aimed to listen to the whole album in one go 3 or 4 times before I reviewed it? Is she the greatest female singer of all time? Like, share and subscribe and comment down below. See you in the next one.